Monday morning. It's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world. We'll get you set up with the Market Watch, stocks we're paying attention to, plus all the local and national stories that you need to know. Appreciate you joining us here on this Monday, and let's get it started. Lots of news with that Market Watch. Well, of course, coming back from the weekend, what's happening out there? Kind of a mixed thing here, but things are down a little bit. Oil is going back up today. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Iran developments, of course, happened over the weekend, and that's kind of our picture right now. The Dow Jones is down 172 points as we look at it, 49,282. The S&P 500 is up 6 points right now, 72.27. That's teetering between positive and negative here this morning. The NASDAQ is up 13 points here today. 25,129 is where that's trading at. Then the Russell 2K, well, it shows basically even on your screen. 28.19 for that small cap index as well. Look at this. Bitcoin, today it's at 78,638, but it hit 80,000 for the first time since January over the weekend as well. So did get up to 80,000, come back down a little bit here today to 78,630 for Bitcoin here this morning. Stocks we are paying attention to right now. First one, eBay is in the news today. Interesting story here around eBay. They're up 5.03% right now. Well, they're up because GameStop, of all places, made an unsolicited, non-binding offer on Sunday to buy eBay for about $55.5 billion. Yeah, so eBay is up based off of that news. Well, GameStop obviously making that unsolicited offer. So let's take a look at GameStop stock here. It's down 4.03% right now as well. GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen, he said the merger would be a way to create a strong competitor to Amazon. Well, GameStop down 4.15%. eBay up today as well, based off of that news. Now, it's an unsolicited, non-binding offer. Can be rejected outright by eBay coming up here. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that story out there as well. And then there's Norwegian Cruise Lines. Shouldn't shock you here. They're down 9.52%. And it shouldn't shock you because, right, oil prices out there. I'll tell you this, their guidance for the current quarter, full year, well, very far below expectation levels here when they reported their first quarter earnings last week. They're dealing with those high fuel prices due to everything that's happening in the Middle East. That's what's driving their stock down 9.84%. But they did report first quarter earnings of 23 cents per share. The estimate was only 14 cents per share. They did come in with $2.33 billion in revenue. The expectation was $2.36 billion, so the revenue missed it, but blew away their numbers on the per share price. But they're down 9.73%, lowering their guidance, not just for the current quarter, but for the full year as well. Later on when we come back, we're going to look at crypto stocks out there with Bitcoin hitting 80,000 over the weekend. We're going to look at other crypto stocks out there, Coinbase, Circle, Gemini Space Station, see what they're doing here today, kind of with the run. But something happened on the government side this weekend as well that's affecting these cryptocurrencies and probably why Bitcoin hit 80,000. So we'll get into that next time we come back and look at our stocks out there. But why are the markets what they're doing today? Well, we wake up this morning to find out Iran has claimed that it fired a warning shot against a U.S. Navy ship near that Strait of Hormuz over there. And this all happened early Monday morning, their time. A senior Iranian official said the shot was intended to prevent the U.S. vessel from entering the strait. So the exact quote, Iran fired a warning shot against U.S. warship to prevent its entry into Strait of Hormuz. Unclear whether there was any damage, according to the official. Well, that statement from Iran comes after the U.S. Central Command actually denied reports from an Iranian news agency that 2 Iranian missiles had struck a U.S. ship over there in the strait. So that obviously affecting oil prices here today, and oil prices are up again today because of that. Now, President Trump announced plans for U.S. forces to guide vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. That news came out. Iran did say, excuse me, the U.S. did continue to say the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports will continue, with U.S. Central Command saying they've already redirected about 49 ships from those Iranian ports as well. Iran did say they will attack any U.S. ship that is, basically shows the way, therefore, or patrols through some ships of that Strait of Hormuz as well. Then the other news over the weekend, peace talks with Iran, well, they're just not happening right now. The Trump did bash Iran's latest 14-point proposal that they sent over to President Trump. He did not like it now. And so, well, a lot of unknown and uncertainty here in that part of the world continues today. And that's why our market is kind of today here on this Monday morning. Another story that we need to look at here because it's all around the tariffs. Well, President Trump on Friday afternoon, he said that he's going to increase tariffs on European Union cars and trucks, going up to 25% this week is what he claimed. Obviously, he went to his social media site, True Social. He said that the EU is quote, not complying with our fully agreed to trade deal, unquote. The president did not specify which tariff authority he would be invoking, but it does appear the administration will use Section 232. That's the one that authorizes the president to adjust the imports of goods, and the Secretary of Commerce finds that have been imported in a manner that threatens U.S. national security. So now we've got EU tariffs coming back into play here with President Trump at 25% on cars and trucks as well. He did this big old long thing also on the U.S. car market, how strong it is, and Buy American and all of that stuff on that social media post. Another thing you probably saw over the weekend, if you have tickets with this company, don't delay this at all because it could end up costing you if you're able to get a refund or switch to another airline, of course. But Spirit Airlines, as you may have heard over the weekend, they shut down. A lot of people say abrupt shutdown. We've been telling you it's been coming for a while. Now it's abrupt because they just decided Saturday night or Saturday morning they were just going to shut down. Period. End of story. They left many travelers, not just travelers, but workers scrambling for answers, especially when it comes to getting your money back if you had a ticket with Spirit Airlines. They announced Saturday that it would be canceling all flights as it started winding down its operations, effective immediately. Customers who book directly with Spirit using a credit or debit card, they say you will be automatically refunded into their original form of payment. Those who purchase tickets through third-party vendors, those would be like travel agencies, Expedia, etc. Well, you'll need to reach out to those providers to request refunds, according to the airline. Passengers who use vouchers, travel credits, loyalty points to book you're not going to get any of that stuff back here as well. You're facing some big uncertainty here at this time. The claims will be handled through Spirit's bankruptcy process for those sides of the refunds. Customers can find more details on the airline's restructuring website that is now officially up. The DOT, Department of Transportation, warns that refunds could become complicating as the proceedings of winding down Spirit Airlines does move forward. So what are other airlines doing, if anything, to assist you out here if you have travel plans on Spirit? Well, so United, Delta, JetBlue, Southwest, for instance, a lot of the major airlines, they're capping rebooking fees. So if you're an affected Spirit customer, you may be eligible for one-way tickets priced around $200, but you have to provide verification your original booking with Spirit. So you can't just, say I was on Spirit. You have to have proof of it. American and Delta, they're offering reduced fares on high-traffic Spirit routes. Allegiant has frozen prices on overlapping routes as well. Frontier said they're offering up to 50% off base fares through May 10th. So other airlines are trying to help people get around if you've already traveled. They also said that, you want to get on this quicker, sooner than later here to verify your refund, because the longer you go, you're going to get wrapped up into that bankruptcy court as well. And we've already seen the political side of this, right? The Biden DOJ, of course, sued and won and didn't allow JetBlue and Spirit to merge a couple years ago. And the senators that were behind that are now, of course, coming out and trying to pass the blame off on the Trump administration and oil. So we're seeing the political side of this battle already happen as well, almost instantly there. So get on it if you're on Spirit Airlines. And also listen to McCollum on Business. We told you that this airline was shutting down a few weeks ago. So not to book tickets with them, to cancel your flights with them, and get your money back because it was happening. It was just a matter of when at that point. So another end of an era here as well. I haven't used this site forever, to be honest. Didn't even know it existed anymore. But there's a site out there that came out before Google. We have to take you back into the land of the 1990s, mid 1990s. But at that time, there was an animated butler, and he was ready to search the web and find users the answers that you were looking for. His name was Jeeves as well, on top of that. Well, the website that made Jeeves famous, well, it's effectively shut down as of this point. It's now called Ask.com, but it posted a farewell message on its website over the weekend, announcing that the search engine would shut down as of Friday, May 1st. The company's website now redirects you to a farewell message thanking everyone who built and used this service over the decades. So the parent company, it's called Interactive Corp, IAC, is their initials. They opted to shut down its search operations entirely, and that it included the longtime website, been around since like 1997. But IAC is a big company. They own multiple well-known brands that you know, All Recipes, Better Homes and Gardens, Daily Beast, and People Magazine. That company is what we're talking about. The former search engine went live as AskJeeves.com back in April of 1997. They launched in full at the beginning of June of 1997 as well. IAC purchased the website in 2005, and, well, they've kept it alive till 2026 here as well. This website tried to differentiate itself among competing search engines of the time. And like I said, Google wasn't around at this time either. But they encouraged you to frame your search queries in the form of a question. And if they would also give you different results under a question, that would help users narrow down if the result was going to give them the answer that they needed. I'm not going to lie to you. I found this site too complicated. I just wanted answers. I didn't want to have to form a question. I didn't want to, get questioned back. It wasn't an interrogation. I just wanted some help while I was doing AOL dial-up. That's all I wanted. But Ask.com officially closed down here moving forward. And there's companies that are taking advantage of the health consciousness of consumers right now, specifically consumers taking those GLP-1 drugs. And those GLP-1 drugs has led to a backlash against those artificial ingredients. As we know, big fight here over the red dyes and other artificial stuff. But wellness trends are fueling growth out there, and one of the companies trying to take advantage is taking advantage of that, Smoothie King. It was founded more than 50 years ago, Smoothie King was. It's a privately held chain. It takes credit for inventing the word smoothie, by the way. They popularized the health drink. They're taking all the credit for it, and I can't confirm or deny if they are responsible for that. The current CEO is somebody named Won Kim, previously owned a franchisee for the brand in South Korea. Well, come out in his own Smoothie King outright since 2012. Last year, the company sold a minority stake to a private equity firm and said the deal would help Smoothie King accelerate growth and innovation moving forward. And now, over the past 5 years, Smoothie King has grown its number of locations by about 23%. They've come into the valley here strong over the last several years as well. Their system-wide sales have increased about 64% over that 5-year period as well. So 23% growth, 63% money growth on that side. In 2025, the company recorded revenue of $66.16 million. That was up 4% from the prior year. Now, this is all, we get these because it's a private company from franchise disclosure documents. Its net income did fall about 6% in that time frame. It went down to $14.84 million. By the end of that year, Smoothie King had more than 1,200 locations. And it's mainly franchisees. About 96% of the chain stores are run by franchisees out there. Back in April, well, just a month ago, right? Smoothie King announced a new store design with what the company called a warmth and approachability to it. Well, that's a big shift from its current functional aesthetic that you have when you walk into their locations. It plans to gradually introduce the new format here across its footprint. And many stores are on their way also with this new format. The chain said that franchisees have committed to opening more than 200 new locations in the coming years. It's planning to expand further into food. It's going to have things like flatbread, along with obviously its smoothie brands. But they're also going to do smoothie bowls, yogurt bowls, loaded toast. They want to get into as well. Smoothie King and its franchisees will open about 90 new locations this year coming up. So Smoothie King on the health bandwagon and having success from that healthy side of things. You can get the old sugary smoothies as well. Trust me, I love those out there. But you can also get the healthy ones with all sorts of fun, healthy stuff in it as well. And it's been 20 years in the making, and it happened over the weekend as well. Yeah, we're talking about 20 years ago. The Devil Wears Prada came out, and over the weekend, The Devil Wears Prada 2 made its debut and also made a huge dent into its first weekend in movie theaters. Now, mostly women went to see this movie. The Devil Wears Prada 2 earned $77 million in the U.S. and Canada, $156.6 million internationally as well. Now, this is all studio estimates that we get on Sunday nights. It easily topped the box office over the weekend. Michael was bumped down into second place here as well. Michael, by the way, did hold well in its second weekend. It only fell about 44%, which I know you go, that's a big drop. Well, in movie terms, that's not a big drop there as well in your second weekend. So Walt Disney co-produced and put out, of course, Devil Wears Prada 2. And put it into 4,150 theaters in North America. Why did I tell you women mostly saw it? Well, 76% of the ticket buyers were women. Yes. 74% said they would definitely recommend the movie to friends. Critics, well, they're a little bit more mixed on the sequel. And I want to know feedback from men. Did men like it? Because the first one to me has its moments for men, man. It cracks me up at times. The movie costs about $100 million to produce. Well, that's a huge bump because obviously stars are in this now, right? When they first did Devil Wears Prada, lower tier actors at that point, right? And the first movie only had a $35 million production budget. So that's a big increase. The first movie opened in June of 2006. It went on to earn $326 million worldwide. By the way, that's not adjusted for inflation as well. So they did about half that. With this one, they did clear the budget, at least internationally, the $100 million budget, but we'll see where it continues to go out there. But the ladies liked it. I saw no stories talking about if the men enjoyed it. The men that were dragged there by their wives. Hey, when we come back here at McCollum on Business, we keep it rolling. We got some Disneyland stories from you, or some more Disney stories for you. Plus some local news out there as well. Plus McDonald's, well, they're making some changes quietly. We'll tell you about that coming up as well. Come on back. It's McCollum on Business, Monday edition. back here. McCollum on Business Monday edition. Appreciate you joining us. Of course, we just saw the preview there for The Real Matrix. Comes out on Fridays, 10 a.m. here at Robat TV, noon on Rumble, and also on the free podcast systems. And boy, the podcast views or listens there of The Real Matrix have taken off over the last couple weeks. So we appreciate you for tuning into that as well. And I know the Angry Patriot loves you guys for doing that as well. Out there, rumble.com/user/TME Media, where you can find the full episodes there as well. Just search the Angry Patriot, The Real Matrix, Angry Patriot on your favorite podcast system. It pops up for you for those of you that would rather listen to the program there as well. Fridays, 10 o'clock. Last week's episode, cholesterol, out there. And I actually found this one a little amusing to watch and informative as well. Angry Patriot just wants you to come in with an open mind and question as you choose to there with watching that program on Fridays. New episode coming out this Friday as well. And folks, right, as soon as we get done here, we put this up on the YouTube page, TME Media AZ, and then, of course, on Rumble as well. All of our programming's on Rumble as well. As soon as we get done here, it goes up TME Media AZ. You're going to want to follow that YouTube page. We have a bunch of things that are going to start going up here, other shows, mini shorts, things like that on that YouTube page coming your way. You're going to want to follow that TME Media AZ. Of course, catch us live there as well moving forward here. Been up doing some testing here over the last couple weeks, but TME Media AZ, you're going to want to follow that page and subscribe to it. Follow us on X, TME Media AZ as well. That's the parent company. Going to put some stuff out there that you'll want to know about the company and shows also hitting on those YouTube pages and Rumble page as well. And as soon as we're done here, well, me and 17-year NFL veteran Del Hellestrey will get you updated on the sports over the weekend here as well with the main event. Live 8 to 10 a.m. You can catch us right there on the YouTube page as well, TME Media AZ. And as soon as it's done, it goes on demand there, Robat, of course, Robat TV, YouTube, as well as Rumble as well, free podcast system there as well. Just search the main event with Steven or the main event with Dale. Pops right up for you. Follow them at TME Sports Show as well on X. And participate with the show as well. And then, of course, later on this week, let's say Wednesday, usually when it comes out, the pit stop. We'll have that for you as well. Looking back at last weekend's racing at Texas Motor Speedway. Controversial endings, controversial things happening out there. We'll talk about all that and, of course, look ahead to this weekend's racing. IndyCar gets back on the track this weekend. Over there, the Indianapolis Road Course here is we're in Indy week, or Indy month, as we should say, now as well. So it's going to be a fun show coming up on the pit stop later on. Follow, like, subscribe, all the shows. TME Media AZ on YouTube. TME Media, of course, rumble.com/user/TME Media on Rumble as well. And folks, with all that being said, we appreciate you joining us here on this Monday morning. Let's get right back into that Market Watch. As we told you, early in the show, well, there's some question marks on what's happening around the Strait of Hormuz. Among other things out there, the Dow Jones right now is down 70 points. Right now, the S&P 500, it looks like it's rebounding a little nicely here and getting up to that 16 points up right now as well for that right now. I keep saying right now for some reason. I don't know why I keep saying that. Must be a Monday morning thing as we're getting back into the swing of things. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays. The Nasdaq's up 38 points. And then the Russell 2K up 2 points right now for that. Bitcoin is at 79,347. We're going to look at crypto stocks here in just a second. But Bitcoin, with what's making this stuff go up, we'll tell you about in a second, but did hit 80,000 for the first time since January. Here earlier over the weekend as well. And let's look at those crypto stocks. First one we're going to look at is one called Coinbase. You know Coinbase right here. 4.64% up here this morning. Here's what happened. Crypto platforms all rose today. Bitcoin rose over the weekend. Well, Senator Tom Tillis, he's a Republican out of North Carolina, and a Democrat out of Maryland, Angela Alsobrooks. Well, they reached a bipartisan agreement over the weekend on key language in a crypto market structure bill. They're calling it the Clarity Act. Well, that's making these stocks go up here this morning. Coinbase 4.81%. It made Bitcoin hit up to 80,000 over the weekend. And then you got Circles, our next one we're going to look at as well. It's up 12.78% as a stable coin base here. Circle Internet Group. And then there's one called Gemini Space Station. Well, it's the way this Clarity Act is written, and it gets confusing because it's obviously legalese out there. But Gemini Space Station's up 3.18% right now as well. But it actually stands to lose the most of this because it's a stablecoin issuer and a retail platform. So that something in the Clarity Act is showing that this one here could be a little bit of a question mark in terms of a company moving forward. But it is still up 3.18% earlier today, or right now, actually, out there today. So we'll get more information on that Clarity Act, of course, as it gets closer to passing and how it's going to affect these cryptocurrency companies. And then, let's get back into our stories going around there. And look, it's almost vacation time. Graduation's coming up, end of school year's coming up, middle of May. I know some colleges out there are already graduated and moving on and at least over for this semester. And if you're going to Disneyland, heads up, bunch of closures this summer. And I don't understand why Disneyland does the closures of the favorite rides out there in the summertime. Do them when the traffic's down, right? But there's going to be a handful of closures this summer, right? Popular rides, shows at California, at not just Disneyland, but California Adventures as well. They'll be temporarily shut down for refurbishment. So I got an update here for you. We told you Pirates of the Caribbean will be shut down till at least June, beginning of June. We told you that a couple months ago. But now we know the Pixie Hollow and the well-loved Phantasmic Show, well, they're going to have limited operations throughout the month of May as well. Now, we get this from the Disneyland website itself. The changes come as other fan favorites are also temporarily closed now, or they're going to be shutting down here shortly for refurbishment. Right, we told you Pirates of the Caribbean, it's going to close today. It's not expected to reopen until early June coming up. We told you about that a month or two ago. And that's partly because that Blue Bayou restaurant, which is that restaurant you float by at the beginning of the ride, well, it's also closed in this time frame, closing today through May 20th. They're doing a refurbishment of that restaurant, which is why they're also doing Pirates of the Caribbean at the same time frame as well. Now, Pixie Hollow will remain open through June 7th, but it'll be closed on Tuesdays and Thursdays for some work on it. The Phantasmic Show, it will not run on select days through May, but it is scheduled to resume daily performances starting May 22nd as well. One of my favorite ones to go on is the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. It's just a simple ride, and I like it too much. That Silly Symphony Swings and Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind, those are also temporarily closed and expected to reopen at the beginning of June or sometime at the beginning of June as well. So I will not spend the money for Disneyland if I can't get on Astro Blasters. I'll tell you that right now. So some attractions, they've recently reopened, though, after extended closure. So the monorail is officially reopened. Daily Crockett's Explorer Canoes. And Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin over there in Toonland, in the backside of the park over there. Now, if you want to check it out on when you're planning to go to Disneyland, obviously daily park closures are listed on the Disneyland website. So that way you don't get disappointed when you get there. You can manage the expectations as you get there. Not just for the kids, but right? Some of your adult favorite rides out there as well, like the Toy Story Astro Blasters. It's so simple. I just love it so much. Interesting enough, we just talked about Disneyland. Well, a lot of people think Disneyland, right? Cedar Point over in Ohio. What's the best Dollywood? What's the best amusement park out there? Well, there's one in Pennsylvania called Noble's Amusement Resort. Well, it's ranked as the best business in the amusement and water parks United States category for 2026 edition of the awards. Obviously, it beat out several Disney parks, Universal properties. Dollywood, it beat out them as well. By the way, Dollywood won this award both in 24 and 25. Now we got Nobles here. This park is in Pennsylvania. It's also the country's biggest free admission amusement park. That means you don't pay a price to get in. No, you purchase tickets and pay per ride. Kind of the old school. Those of us old enough to remember, I'm barely old enough to remember Disneyland doing that back in the day. Passes for unlimited rides are also available to purchase there. Nobles, in addition to topping TripAdvisor's. Wow, sorry, I'm giving the wrong credit here. TripAdvisor's list of best U.S. amusement parks. It was honored this week by USA Today as well. It named Phoenix, which is a ride there, not because we live in Phoenix here, but it's its signature wooden roller coaster here at Nobles. Well, they named it, USA Today did, the best roller coaster in America. So all sorts of winning here going to this company, and I hope I'm saying it right because I've never heard of it before. I don't. I'm not up on my Pennsylvania parks out there as well at that point, right? So Dollywood is one of the best U.S. amusement parks. It was ranked number two this year after being number one in 24 and 25. Number two this year, the Magic Kingdom Park at Walt Disney World. Disney's Hollywood Studios and Universal Islands of Adventure are the other top five amusement parks are out there as well. So you go to TripAdvisor, just do a quick search there. Go to TripAdvisor and it'll pop up amusement parks you want to check out that as well. Interesting enough, close to us because it's a lot of Florida, right? Uh, Ellisburg, I think, Pennsylvania is where that Nobles is. But Tennessee is where Dollywood is, if you didn't know. But then, like I said, Florida, Epcot in Florida, 6. Then you go Legoland in California, number 7. Universal Studios, Florida, 8. Disneyland is 9 over there in Anaheim. And then Silver Dollar City over in Branson, which I've been to. That was fun, but it's been about 20 years. That's a fun little place as well. So a lot of Florida domination here on this ranking here on TripAdvisor as well. Now let's get into some local stories here. I wanted to get you updated on the vacation stuff so you can think about that here on this Monday. Arizona lost 10,900 jobs from February to March. Very slight increase to the unemployment rate happened as well. We get this from the Arizona Office of Economic Opportunity when they released their March employment report here last week. So the unemployment rate, by the way, rose from 4.6% in February to 4.7% in March as well. The overall slowdown, well, is all in hiring overall. But there's still opportunities for those of you looking for a job out there. So people are hiring. It's just they might be, I'll just use the term lowballing you a little bit because there's so many people looking for jobs out there as well. So job sectors seeing more losses than others. Hospitality, retail, a lot of job losses in those areas as well. So healthcare, though, still experiencing growth for those of you that are going into the healthcare industry as well. So that's the state of Arizona that we're looking at. We always talk about the national picture, and well, this is an interesting story. Maybe some growth here as well. The Arizona Motion Picture Production Program. They call it the MPPP. Well, it's been a windfall for Arizona, local businesses, and film production officials. We are now officially learning. It was established in 2022. There was a House bill that established it. It was voted in by the Arizona Congress out there as well. Production companies have taken advantage of the incentives due to them. Now, there's been a lot of lawsuits around this program to kind of stop it as well. To date, the MPPP, well, it's issued 34 pre-approvals since the start of the program. That totals $26,361,000. We get that from the Arizona Commerce Authority. They administer that motion picture program as well. So 4 pre-approvals, well, they're currently pending right now as well. 9 post-approvals have been received and issued since the start of the program. Those total $2.1 million. 17 projects are currently in production based on the submitted 9-month notification reports. So the ACA has received 53 pre-approval applications since the start of the program. So we're seeing kind of a boom here. And the article that I saw, and I saw a couple articles on it, but I think it might have been KTAR, but apologize if it's not. But they call it Valleywood is what they're calling this run out there as well. That's just classic name there. They choke on laughing about that as well. And then We're always talking about water here in Arizona, especially lately. City of Phoenix is saying drought conditions and some restrictions could be in effect here this year. But now an Arizona trial court has struck down the Arizona Department of Water Resources restriction on the home development. We told you about this a little bit last week here. Home builders won't be starting construction, though, anytime soon as a result on lots that have been gathering dust over the past few years because basically they were halted with those restriction numbers out there. If you remember, the Goldwater Institute did sue Katie Hobbs' administration, the governor, back in January of last year over those water restrictions on behalf of the Home Builders Association of Central Arizona. The ADWR had imposed a rule in 2024 that requires a 100-year groundwater supply across water management areas, not just at the development site area, but over the bigger areas. This new restriction that they threw out there is known as the unmet demand rule, and they put it into effect. They got sued, a judge overruled it, but the big important update on this story, building isn't going to start anytime soon in those areas where they had to halt it. Well, they're still working out some of those procedures and things to that effect. And then finally today, we always seem to leave you with food stuff or fun little stories afterwards. If you go to McDonald's now, some changes are happening. I don't like this for a myriad of reasons, but McDonald's is ending the self-serve soda fountains in their restaurants. Yeah. It's part of a broader effort by McDonald's to modernize its restaurants. They want to reduce labor and maintenance demands. They want to adapt to changing consumer habits that increasingly favor takeout, delivery, and drive-through service over dining in. Yeah, so they're getting rid of self-service. I do not like it when they just hand you a drink and you got to go fill it up, but it is nice for refills. So it's kind of a catch-22, right? So McDonald's plans to complete the transition away from self-service beverage stations and U.S. dining rooms by 2032 completely. The changes are expected to roll out gradually over the next several years as restaurants get updated or remodeled and things. In many new locations, in many locations already existing, drinks are already being prepared behind the counter rather than poured by customers. That's a clear departure from that self-service model that's been a staple of many of these fast food dining stations, right, for many, many years. Yeah, so convenience by the wayside here is what's coming up as well. Drink customization, right? You want to mix diet and regular soda. You want to mix cherry Coke and regular Coke. Well, harder to do that when you have to rely on the person behind the counter out there as well. But obviously, the big thing here is McDonald's can deny it all they want. The overlords at McDonald's, they're losing money or they're perceived losing money because of beverage portions. Yeah, you can go get several refills and they can't control it. Things like that. Inventory levels, right? How many lids get thrown away as you drop them all over the floor and stuff like that. Yeah. So companies are prioritizing speed, efficiency, and digital ordering over traditional dining experiences. So McDonald's is heading that way as well. So now keep in mind, McDonald's is introducing at least those new dirty sodas we told you about a couple weeks ago as well. That's coming out. They just don't want you to control it yourself, folks. That's all it is. The overlords of McDonald's have deemed you not worthy. Getting your own soda and customizing it to the way that you want to as well. Good job, McDonald's. The overlords. Hey, appreciate you joining us here for this Monday edition. We're going to roll into the main event here coming up live 8 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to join us on the YouTube channel as well, TME Media AZ. And also, on demand here on the YouTube and Rumble channels as well. Free podcast coming up for the main event, the pit stop, and the Real Matrix as well, folks. Don't forget to follow us at TME Media AZ on X, the parent company of our production company out there. And hey, we'll be back tomorrow morning on Tuesday, 7 a.m. here, McCollum on Business. Have a great Monday night.